Good afternoon, traders. Today is May 17th. I am recording this for the next week starting on Monday, May 20th. First, let's look at S&P. S&P is now pretty much in a really solid trend up, and I guess the next target is it's getting very close to its target, which is 1680. 1680 would be, I would think that we would probably definitely see a resistance at that point. That's the reason I'm kind of a bit careful about some of the new positions I have, and the current positions, whatever I have, I am still maintaining it. And in fact, I took some profits this week, and they were pretty good profits. But I think some of the new ones, I'm really careful in getting into it. So let's just take a look at a couple of other ones, what's going on. Let's look at oil. If you guys remember oil, I was trading this ABC pattern, not the one what we are seeing it here, but there was a one ABC which is just about in the mid-March and April time frame, and that one actually did not work out. And because of that reason, I actually completely abandoned looking at even oil. And now what's happening is it's coming back into, and it's redeveloping a similar type of a symmetric triangle pattern. And symmetric triangles do need that, it needs to be a 5-swing pattern. Sometimes it is 7-swing pattern. I'm not sure if this is a 7-swing or 5-swing pattern, but what's happening is it's actually now back to the upper trend line. And of course, the oil is also going up a little bit, creeping up. Because of that reason, I'm thinking if it really breaks out, probably next week is the right time for it to break out, because the symmetric triangles also have an area where it's supposed to break out, and that's about the 2/3 of the distance from the left side. And I think we are about in that zone of it, and I'm thinking that if it does break out, now we will see probably much more higher prices. But if it comes back and trades back within this symmetric triangle, I won't be trading on the downside for sure. I would only be trading on the upside, but I do need a definite breakout from the top side. And let's look at next one is let's also look at gold. Wow, look at the gold. It has been, I think, I was definitely thinking that I'm completely out of gold or GLD positions. I do not have any. I'm completely waiting for it to see if it actually comes back and tries this 1240, 1235, 1240 area. That's when its rectangular channel is complete, and that's when we'll probably maybe taking in newer positions. But up until then, there's no trade. The other position is possibly if it really trades above this 1535 price range. But in between, this 1235 and 1535, I'm not even going to touch gold, so I'm just going to leave it out. Let's look at another one is a XLF. Look at that XLF, and this is actually driving the markets. Look at the financials; they're absolutely fantastic. But what I also think that how S&P is probably nearing a key resistance target. I also think XLF is also reaching its resistance target, which is about $20 and 23 cents, which is not too far. Right now it's closed today at 1996. So I'm thinking that the next week would be really crucial, but that's what I even thought about it that before also. But what I really think is 162% is usually pretty strong resistance at that point. So because of that reason, I will be very careful with taking the new positions. Well, since we are in XLF, let's go ahead and start taking looking at what's happening with the Goldman Sachs, and it's been pretty strong lately. Let's actually look at Goldman Sachs weekly chart. Weekly chart has what I call is a this is actually some type of a butterfly. It's developing, and it's also like a smaller form of Gartley. But now if you look at it, it actually bounced off of its 200 period moving average in this pattern, and it's kind of a bull flag. And this is the first target would be $162 kind of thing, but I have a feeling it may go even much higher. But if financials start actually seeing some type of a retracement, we should see Goldman Sachs also come down. And that's one of the things. It's actually about right today it went up by $4. Really strong trade. And so this is the same thing happening with lots of other financials. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the financials right now with me, and I will be careful this coming week. Citigroup is pretty strong today, so is JPM. These are all the very shallow retracements, and this is not even a full-blown ABC pattern. It's only 24%, but we do need to wait at least 38% for us to consider this type of patterns. But anyway, now let's move on to next one. There's some of the stocks which I wanted to show. Is the FedEx is the first one. FedEx is the one which I've been holding positions for a while. FedEx, my targets on FedEx uh, in FedEx is between 105 and $109. Next is Oracle. This has become quite a bit of my favorite lately. I just actually, because I only had 34 calls, June 34 calls, and the targets are between 35 and a half and 36 and a half. So I took some off right now at 34 because once they became in the money today, it's already trading at 35. And so I think I would definitely take out some at this 35.40 range, and then of course it may still go up to 36.50, but that is the trade which I've been trading it. This one I do not have position Qualcomm. I think one of the reasons why I don't have Qualcomm position is in the last I would think in the 6 months or so, I've traded a couple of times. The returns were not that great because I think it had a really choppy trend. Although now it has a pretty good ABC, and I think the target may be between 68 and $70. But at this point, I do not have a position in Qualcomm. Next is Salesforce. And these are the stocks, in fact, I talked about it, some of them at least last week and the weeks before. Salesforce has earnings next week, which is the May 23rd. The first target is between 47 and 49, and if the earnings are good, it probably could go much higher too. Next one is CMI, which I have positions, is the Cummins engines, and here is the one. Their earnings are not due until July, so my targets would be between $126 and $132. Let's look at next one is the Fossil. Again, Fossil also trading pretty well in a strong ABC pattern, and then its targets are between $112 and $118. Next one is Yum. Yum Brands. It had a little bit of negative in the past, but I think in the last 2 to 3 weeks, it's doing pretty well. I think its first target is between 70 and 73, 71 and $73. The next one could be even much higher, about 75 to $79. This I have traded in the past, General Dynamics. It's still going strong. I don't have a position anymore. I think I closed it, somewhere about, I thought like between $73, $74, but now it's already trading at $78. Next one, I think this one I have not talked about it before. It's Wells Fargo. As far as I remember, I probably never traded Wells Fargo, I think. But this is something which I'm actually looking at it. I thought that I would show you because how the financials are moving. It's about $40 to $42 is the target for it, and it's already near the $40 price range. Let's look at this surprising stock, Microsoft. I closed the positions in Microsoft, but let's just look at its weekly chart. Look at how spectacularly it's moving up in this ABC pattern. I think the target would be between $38 and $41 in Microsoft. That may not be right away because it looks really surprising for a stock, which has been for the past, I don't know, 10 years or so, trading between $22 and $31, and all of a sudden now it's breaking out $32, and it's breaking out to, this close to $35, and now it may even break out much even higher, but it may happen probably in this year. Let's look at CMG, which is now complete. I've traded this and I don't have a position at this point, but one of the things which I wanted to show you is it is an inverse head and shoulder pattern which is just completed. That means that the target for the inverse head and shoulder pattern is $379. That means the distance from the neck to the bottom of the head, and that is the inverse, that is the range which we'll take it and add it above the neckline, and that's about $380, and that I think that is just complete. This is another interesting stock, Monster Energy. Yes, it is in an ABC pattern, but it is also in an inverse head and shoulders patterns too. But what happened recently is last week, I think, when it came out with their earnings, actually the price completely tanked, and I thought that it would probably go in the reverse direction now. But now what's happening is in the last few days, it had a pretty good positive reaction, a positive action, and now it even came back and tested its traded above this neckline 57.36. I don't have a position. It's a controversial stock. Yes, there is a basic pattern developing, but there's nothing positive about this stock yet. Because of that reason, I'm not going to take a position now. Next is Google. Google's, I think, let's see if it has a weekly chart. Yes, there. It's amazing. This is such a monster stock. I think the stock is probably it will head to this 948 to 1021. First time probably we'll be seeing a stock which is actually going to cross $1,000. There are some stocks which trade above 1,000. But I think this will be interesting to see if it actually trades above this $1,000 price target. Next is Tesla. Tesla Motors has been just absolutely spectacular. Just in April month itself, the stock went from somewhere about like I guess almost like a $35 to right now it's trading almost at $92. There's some type of a negative action in the days, but this is not enough for anyone to short it. It's very difficult to short this kind of a parabolic arc stocks, and so I'll be very careful. I won't just gamble, taking a trades going in opposite direction, because there's nothing telling me at this point that it's going to stop at this $91 going up. So that's the reason I think we should not randomly short this stock. Let's look at next one is a Devon Energy. Devon Energy, I think I talked about this before, and this has a double bottom pattern, and I think the first target would be about $61.80. The last one I think I want to conclude is with Cisco. I think we talked about this stock, and sorry, I want to talk about is the Checkpoint. Checkpoint is the one which I have positions in Checkpoint, and I've taken some just because it just became in the money because I had a $50 calls, but now it's actually heading. My targets would be $52 to $54. Okay. That's it, guys. I think I am still working on my website. I guess I'm shooting for the next weekend to launch it, but we will see, because there is some issues which I'm working with some other friends to resolve it. And once it's resolved, of course, this website will be launched. Thanks again, and thanks for your nice emails and great support. Fantastic again. Have a great weekend.